She said the first thing that stood out about her is her personality. She's funny, like really funny, and she's a great teammate. Now, how many people have we heard say Caitlin Clark's a great teammate? Pretty much everybody. Pretty much everybody. This ain't a Chicago Sky situation where Courtney Vandersloot got to go on camera and defend herself because somebody said something they weren't supposed to and all this other stuff.
Michaela Timson, the Fever's rookie forward, just delivered one of the clearest endorsements of Caitlin Clark we've seen all season. And what stands out immediately is what she highlighted first. Not Clark's stats or skills, but her character and teamwork. That's telling, especially given all the narratives attempting to paint a different picture of Clark behind the scenes. Timson said, "I love her. The things she's able to control and that she doesn't show. I couldn't imagine going through the stuff she goes through, but she stays strong," referring to the constant scrutiny every move of Clark's attracts, the missed shots, the decisions, every moment dissected under a microscope. What gives Timson's insight weight is that she's witnessing this both publicly and in the locker room firsthand. As a rookie with no agenda, no reason to protect Clark's image. She's simply reflecting what she actually sees, and that contrast between the reality behind the scenes and the media narratives is striking enough that she felt compelled to speak up, offering an unfiltered look at Clark's resilience and character.
Quoted as saying, "I love her, the things she's able to control and that she doesn't show. I couldn't imagine going through the stuff she goes through, but she stays strong." Now, that's just kind of referring to the spotlight. Everything you do is being talked about, is under a microscope. Every missed shot, every made shot, everything that comes with being Caitlin Clark is a lot to take on. So Michaela Timson with nothing but great things.
This is where Timson's growth becomes a key piece in projecting the Fever's ceiling next season. With Natasha Howard out, the player who previously demanded MVP-level attention while the team struggled with cohesion, those minutes and opportunities now have to be absorbed elsewhere. Timson, as a rookie, connected on 43% of her threes with unlimited minutes potential. She's an explosive athlete who can keep pace with Clark in transition and possesses the defensive flexibility to cover multiple positions. Strategically, her presence matters even more. Clark thrives when surrounded by teammates who can finish in fast breaks, make immediate reads, and remain effective without dominating the ball. Timson embodies all of that. She won't insist on post touches or isolation sets. Instead, she moves, cuts, spaces, and converts. Precisely the type of player Indiana needs to complement their star.
With Natasha Howard gone, who should be gone, she talking about she wanted to win MVP and all of this stuff. We should see an uptick in production and minutes for Michaela Timson. I think Michaela Timson was very effective in the minutes she got in her rookie year. And I think with an off season to work, get more experience playing overseas professionally, I think she'll be a good player for Caitlin.
While players like Timson focus on building chemistry and preparing for the next season, a bigger question looms over whether that season will even happen. CBA talks have been stalled for months, and now the WNBA has released a full schedule amid a strange scenario. 2 WNBA Players Association board members, Brianna Stewart and Nisa Collier, also co-founded Unrivaled, a competing 3-on-3 league. And let's be precise about what a conflict of interest actually is. It doesn't require anyone to act with ill intent. It's about incentives pulling in multiple directions, which can create tension or misalignment with obligations, whether anyone intends it or not.
To this, man, I want to get to a conversation that was being had about if there's no 2026 WNBA season, Unrivaled's thought process and plans for this. And this is why they can't get mad that we've been saying this whole thing with them running Unrivaled, being co-founders, but also being on the WNBA board is a conflict of interest. Is conversations and things like this on why they can't get mad.
Listen to how carefully they're tiptoeing around this. There are endless scenarios being floated about what Unrivaled could do if the WNBA season falls through. Pop-up events, extended schedules, even launching a second season. These aren't idle hypotheticals. They're active contingency plans being crafted by people who are simultaneously negotiating the WNBA's collective bargaining agreement. Notice the framing, too. The messaging is designed to make it seem like this is all about fan demand, when in reality it's just a business safeguarding its investments in case the league doesn't play. That approach is normal from a corporate standpoint. Plan ahead, protect your assets, maximize opportunities, but it's inherently conflicted when the same people sit on the board negotiating for the league that might be sidelined. Even when the host offers them a soft out, suggesting Stewart and Collier aren't intentionally undermining the WNBA, the response is telling. Vague, hesitant, and uncertain. That pause reveals how even supporters perceive the potential tension.
Certain things you have to think about. I think that, I want to get to this conversation, man, because this was very, very interesting.
Right? Like you had asked earlier, if there is no 2026 WNBA season, does Unrivaled decide like we're going to do a pop-up league somewhere? Do they extend their season? Do they start building out a second season? Like there are always a million different ideas that it does seem like the everyday fan is thinking about too,
And to say for the record, and this is how I feel, I don't think that Breonna Stewart and Afisa Collier are actively trying to sabotage.
Here's where the messaging gets messy. Just get a deal done, bro. Sounds simple, right? But it's deliberately vague about what getting a deal done actually entails. The Players Association isn't just seeking minor improvements. They're pushing for a full package in one CBA. Revenue sharing, schedule prioritization shifts, international play protections, permanent charter flights, and salary structures that depend on revenue increases that aren't guaranteed. The reasoning behind this push is clear. Stewart is 30, Collier 28, and the next negotiation could come when they're in their mid-30s, likely at the tail end of their peak earning years or even after retirement. So the pressure to maximize this deal is enormous, which is standard union strategy. The problem arises when the same players advocating for aggressive terms are also tied to a competing league that benefits if the WNBA season stalls, creating a built-in tension between personal and collective interests.
On getting the deal done and do something more reasonable. Y'all are trying to get everything in one CBA. Y'all trying to get everything at one time. It's not going to work that way. But the reason y'all are doing that is because y'all older and y'all might not be around when there's another CBA. So y'all don't care about the future of the game. Y'all want everything right now for yourselves. That's the truth of the matter. That's the flat out truth of the matter.
Like, they're not double agents that are in there pushing for a strike and pushing for the season to be canceled. Like, I think that is way too far.
This is where the conflict of interest becomes undeniable. Prioritization, the rule dictating which league players must put first, is a central sticking point in these talks. Overseas players, WNBA athletes, and especially those involved with Unrivaled all want the freedom to pick their commitments without league restrictions. Who gains most if these rules are loosened? Unrivaled. Their league suddenly stops competing with WNBA mandates and becomes just another option on a player's calendar. Stewart and Collier aren't negotiating solely as players seeking flexibility. They're negotiating as business owners with a direct financial stake in the outcome. This isn't hypothetical. It's a measurable, tangible conflict. If strict prioritization stays in place, Unrivaled has to work around WNBA schedules. Remove or weaken it, and Unrivaled can freely expand, competing directly for player time and attention, with their bottom line directly tied to that change.
Listen, we don't know. We don't know. At the end of the day, they could get some more money from the WNBA, but they are co-founders in Unrivaled. If things go under and Unrivaled blows up and becomes the biggest league, nobody benefits more than those two. Let's just keep it real. Let's just keep it all the way real.
I don't think they're sabotaging talks if that's a conversation anyone's having. What I do think, though, is, and we've talked about this, prioritization. Like, that is something that for them, for players who play overseas, who want to continue playing overseas, for players in Athletes Unlimited,
the WNBA made a bold move by releasing a full schedule while negotiations were still ongoing, sending a clear message. The league is moving forward with or without agreement. Players expressed confusion, but that reaction was more about narrative control than misunderstanding. The reality is the league's top-drawing athletes, Clark, Ree, Brink before her injury, Jackson, and incoming rookies like Buckers, Erie, Fudd, and Miles, are all under rookie contracts and contractually obligated to play. The league can fill rosters and still deliver the stars that drive attendance and ratings, making the leverage for a work stoppage far weaker than the Players' Association might assume. This situation exposes deeper governance challenges. Stewart and Collier, as both board members and Unrivaled co-founders, have financial interests pulling in opposite directions. Prioritization rules in the CBA negotiations directly affect their league's ability to expand, meaning their personal incentives are inherently misaligned with negotiating purely for the WNBA's benefit. The extended stalemate isn't about greed or bad faith. It's about each side positioning themselves publicly while preparing for the possibility of no deal. For rookies like Michaela Timson, who need this season to develop and prove themselves, the stakes are enormous.
They need to get a deal done and stop playing around. This thing has gone on far too. Think about how long this thing has gone on, you guys. Really think about how long this has drug along and just gotten dragged out. Like, come on, man. Y'all got to stop it. Man. A deal should be done. We've already seen the WNBA release the schedule, okay? And we had players coming out and addressing saying, oh, yeah, why are they putting out a schedule? The players was acting confused about the schedule. I tell you why they put out the schedule, because they're going to get some replacement players for y'all asses if y'all don't sign that deal. I could tell you why they put out a schedule. They got to have the venues booked. They letting the fans know it's going down like Young Jock, and it might not be Nafisa Collier and such, but you gonna have Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, Kiki Area, Finn, Rakia Jackson. You gonna have Flau'jae coming to the league, Olivia Miles, and a bunch of replacement players. And at the end of the day, the most popular players in this league are the players that are currently under rookie contracts, if we're gonna be honest. Let's just be real here. That's just what it is. So I think that was the WNBA's message to these players is, hey, we about to move on without y'all asses. Y'all can stop playing games or y'all could jump in.
They have little influence over the outcome. Meanwhile, Stewart and Collier, with financial security and alternative options, are pushing hardest for maximum demands. The WNBA schedule release was both a power move and a necessary step to protect venues, broadcasters, sponsors, and fans, while also highlighting that the league's leverage is stronger than it's being portrayed. The likely outcome is a last-minute deal where both sides claim victory without fully achieving their goals. But every day this drags on, the conflict of interest becomes clearer, the league's credibility takes a hit, and players who rely on this season wait anxiously for certainty. The critical question remains: can board members with ownership in competing leagues negotiate a CBA without compromising the league? In most professional sports, this would be disqualifying. Yet the WNBA's evolving governance structures haven't prevented it, leaving rookies and developing players like Timson caught in the middle of a high-stakes chess game.